We can actually. I'll wait. I'll save it for the podcast.
Well, no, we're recording already. Cause,
Okay, you gonna do your intro?
well, no, because so what I really liked is when we did the episode for Last Argument of Kings, when Nate was going into a story about basically walking into a scene from Anchorman with everyone fighting. Well, I kind of have that as like the background audio as the title cards are playing in the video, and then it swipes into the actual beginning of the episode.
So do you not do an intro?
So do the intro.
Well, you were saying something though, and then you kind of just stopped.
Well, that vibe is done. So
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
that vibe
Anyway,
is over
and
now.
we're live.
You should really let us know how you're producing.
Because then the thing is, it doesn't feel natural.
No, not just that we're recording, but let us know hey, this is actually how I'm producing my show.
I don't got to.
So I know not to. So I know not to go. Hey, are you going to do the intro so we can start?
No, but you can do the intro now if you want to, Chris. You love doing intros. Give us a little rap.
I'm not. You guys can't have it. That's TM. That's.
It's just that one you sent me was just so bad.
That's the point. Yeah. We do one for every episode. All our episodes have a terrible song.
And it's
the beginning.
You guys alternate as to who does it, right?
Yeah, it's usually Dylan because he's better off the cuff. He's just better off the cuff.
Oh, like he freestyles?
Yeah. He just improvs better than we do.
Yeah.
All right. So
and like me, I have to write stuff down.
The Lies of Locke Lamora by Steve Lynch. Is that the author?
Yeah,
Scott Lynch. Scott Lynch.
Stephen Lynch is the comedian guy.
Yeah. Book one of the Gentleman Bastard series.
It's pretty good. It was definitely fun. I'd been putting this book off for a while after my buddy Jeff told me about it. Finally got around to it now.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons why I was kind of forcing it, because you'd brought it up a long time ago. But yeah, no, I really like this book.
I like the world building in it.
Yeah, I definitely think I'm a sucker for Venice and Venice style things in terms of
yeah, it definitely felt
design.
I was listening and reading, and it was like, okay, so all these names sound very Italian. You got Don and Dona and all that stuff, and then they're talking about how they basically travel a lot via little boats to get to a lot of places. I'm like, this is super Venetian. It seems like.
Yeah. But I mean, the book basically features Locke Lamora and the Gentleman Bastards, which are a weird subcult of the religion of this place. They are servants of a god that isn't
the 13th.
The crooked 13th, who isn't really canonized, I think, by any of the other religions. And basically,
see, that's the weird thing, though, because you say that he's not canonized, and everyone pretty much says the same thing, but the blind priest.
They treat him as a religion.
Exactly,
yeah.
they still give him
respect him as he's a priest.
They still give him a bunch of money when he's on the steps and stuff. So it's I guess they're either super God fearing, and they're just let's just not rock the boat in case this is a real thing.
Well, no. So the idea is that he's pulling a scam by pretending to be a real priest of that one god. That's his scam.
Yeah. No, we know I know it's a scam, but at the same time, he still definitely is it's the 13th instead of the regular 12.
The only people who know that are people who are in the know, right? It's not a publicly known thing.
The spider knew it pretty well.
Yeah, the spider's supposed to be in the know.
Is she, though?
Yeah, she's
I think it's quite apparent.
Yeah.
It's quite apparent.
They have this secret piece. That means the nobles are in on
but the secret piece always felt like it was just okay, the Kappa and the duchy, they're all like, oh yeah, no, we'll kind of just like turn our backs a little bit to certain things, and you can get away with it. But like the whole intricacy of like having that one religion
Sure,
cult.
but I don't think that the spider is aware that Chains was a priest. I think that she's only vaguely aware of this subculture that there is a 13th god for the thieves. I don't think that she's aware of like the scam that specifically Chains was pulling.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I do love the interludes in the first part where you're just following young Locke Lamora, and he's just like, you're thinking too big, man. You're biting off more than you can chew. Please stop before we have to kill you.
Yeah, I really enjoyed at least the interludes in the first couple halves or the couple acts. I really enjoyed it.
Later on, all the interludes, but the ones that definitely had more of a draw were those first ones.
Yeah, I found those interesting. This book was fine for me. I didn't actually really like love it as much as I thought I was going to by the end of it.
Because they kind of got away from the heist, and it was more like, hey, fuck this one guy.
Yeah, I think that's I don't know. For some reason, by the end of the book, I was like, I don't know if I'll ever reread this book. Kind of feeling.
No, I get that.
You know?
It definitely just decides to like, hey, this is the direction we're going. But then, hey, here's this Grey King guy, and we're pivoting over there.
Yeah, it's essentially like there's two stories, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first story, and
I
then it
thought the
cuts to a
Grey
different
King
story.
thing was going to be like, the B plot the entire time, and then it slowly becomes the A plot.
Yeah. But the character's great. I like the characters. I like the Gentleman Bastards. I love the concept of the Gentleman Bastards. I think it's really fun.
I had no idea that the character that when I first looked at the title of the book and it said The Lies of Locke Lamora, I thought Locke Lamora was like the location. I didn't know it was the main character.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Because it was like,
I mean,
the thing is,
I can see that.
It was sold
yeah.
as the premise of being like a heist book. So you think, okay, there's going to be a lot of deception and shit. So the lies of this one location.
No,
like,
the lies of this
that's the
person that does
character.
the heist. Yeah. Yeah, but I love the characters are cool, especially the Gentleman Bastard characters are cool.
Yeah.
I really like them. Other characters, I'm like whatever about for the most part for me. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Was it?
I thought there was going to be more from like Nazca, and then like like we see her as a little girl,
Poor
see her as an adult, and then all of a sudden she's just gone.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's sad. And the way they kill her and stuff like that, I was like, oh, that's even worse.
Yeah. Like in a barrel of horse piss?
How do you collect that much piss? Like, how do you actively collect that much? Like your horse is gonna pee, so you're like buckets,
come up onto
waiting?
onto like a gallows, and then you just put a barrel underneath it and just have the horse stand there until it pisses?
Yeah, I was like thinking of the logistics around it, like to collect that. It's not like an udder where you can like milk it, right? You have to like wait for this process to go through. You got to be there on time to catch it in a container. To fill in a barrel's not small.
It's like, what's like 55 gallons?
Okay, hold on.
A lot of fluid.
Hold on. Imagine he made the Bonds mage do it. He's like, hey, you're really good at controlling animals. Do you think you could control these horses to piss in a bucket? And he's like, dude, I'm literally warping reality, and you want me to make horses piss in a bucket?
But whatever, you're paying me 1,000 crowns a day, so
yeah, it's a really good practical joke. I just need this piss.
Yeah, it's like a Michael Reeves video almost all of a sudden now.
Yeah, so not that they only did it once; they did it twice. They collected 2 barrels.
Unless it was the same barrel
of horse urine. Nah, no, because they delivered that barrel to someone, and that's how they found out she died. Remember? So that means they would have to.
Yeah,
they would have to get that barrel back. So that's not happening.
You don't need the whole barrel. You just need it to be like 60% full before you drop the person in, or something like that.
You're gonna have a lot of liquid displacement.
That's still a lot of liquid.
Yeah,
that's a lot of fluid you got to fill in there. Just it's a 55-gallon barrel, so you need like 25 gallons of urine.
Yeah,
and I know horses can piss, but I mean,
that's a lot. It's just
timing.
Piss.
it's just timing. Like you gotta know the horse's schedule. Like Are they staying in the stall? Is that where
Are
you're
they
collecting
force
it? Because
feeding
they
the
have all
horse
day. Yeah, like
diuretics?
yeah. Do they have an IV so it's like causing all extra fluid to come in? Like I don't know what's going on.
Giving the horse a bunch of cranberry juice?
Did they put a catheter in it? That's like that to me seems like the best way to do it because then it's just a slow drip the whole time.
Can we talk about the bonds magi a little bit? Like, just this
Yeah,
whole
I got.
order of just like sorcerers are just like, you know what? Let's just really become badasses here and just force everybody else into kind of our game and set this meta. And that
Yeah,
one throne
I mean,
over there for that empire, fuck them. We're gonna burn that entire fucking city to the ground and leave the throne there.
I feel like that's what mages
I
do in general. Across
yeah.
all books, anything.
But they're
They're like, oh,
all
we have all
working
this
together.
power.
There's like no infighting, nothing. They're all just working together. And if one of them gets killed, they drop everything they're doing at the drop of a hat just to get fucking revenge. And they go fucking scorched earth, Genghis Khan style.
Well, there's not many of them. It's a
There's
small
like
group of people.
400.
That's not a lot.
It's not a lot, but like considering the amount of power that they have,
Okay. Let me. I hate the magic system in this book.
Oh, it's very loose.
oh yeah,
It's very
it's
loose.
definitely a soft.
It's
magic
very soft
system.
magic system. Yeah. It's very loose.
It's the softest. It's like, but it's like the worst kind of soft magic system.
It's like softer than Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Never read Harry
Oh.
Potter, so I don't know.
I think the things that I hate about it, work really well in the book because it's kind of like a flip side of what like we normally see in books, where like your main character is like learning how to be Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
Versus like, oh, how the fuck would you actually fight Harry Potter if you were like a normal person? And so it's like, just barely getting by the skin of your teeth. And I'm like, I like that sort of like role reversal in the situation where it's just like, oh, okay, here's how all of this is going to be working. I get it now.
I mean,
But
I like that the way that the magic system worked in this book just kind of like we have no idea how the fuck it works. It just does because at the same time, like none of our main characters use magic. So so basically, from our perspective, which is the perspective of these characters, like it's just happening. But
Yeah, it's just magic. It's magic.
If this guy
it's
ever
unexplainable,
wrote,
right?
I imagine if this guy ever wrote a book from the perspective of the Bonds Magi, maybe we get a little bit more detail as to how this shit works.
no.
Nope.
So
I mean, this is practically the Force, right? Like it's essentially the same
Totally
thing.
forced. Except with names, which is like the one small tie-in to the Dresden Files. Like if you know someone's real name,
Yeah, I was like, what does the name matter? Like, what is? It's so.
and he
such a,
did do thaumaturgy. He tracked Jean with his blood.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. There's for this book series, like the next book is I kind of hate the next book, because of the Bonds Magi. Like that stuff. Like it just I don't know. It's too much. I think a little bit. I think it works okay in this first book because the Bonds Magi is kind of like I don't know. I want to say like ephemeral. Like he's not really there in a lot of ways. He's just like this like boogeyman of a thing that kind of gets dealt with. But really, it's these other characters that are the villains. Like if the Bonds Magi was like our main villain,
Is he
I
like
think this book would be.
he's like Jaws in the James Bond franchise. He's just a big henchman who's kind of like super annoying to fight.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. And then you get like better characters in the background. You like there's still all these like kind of cool plans that are happening. You really like Locke. You're really sad to see
Bug
Galdo,
and Caldo.
Bug, and
Yeah,
Caldo
to see his crew
die.
get killed, I was like, damn! In the first
Damn.
book, you killed three of the five in the first book. I was like, geez, that's a little much, right? Because
Yeah,
one, I really like Bug. I mean, the twins, I was actually cool with them killing off, but
I mean, but they killed 60% of his crew.
yeah, I just like Bug because that one scene where he's like, I just have to last long enough for Jean, and I was like, that's kind of cool. I like that. That's just like I just got to hang out and get my ass beat until Jean shows up. And I
Did you
enjoyed
say
that for some.
Bug, because that was Locke.
No, Bug did that first, didn't he?
He's
No.
talking about running through the town, and like in the
No, you're talking
beginning part
about
of
when
the
he
book?
just holds on to the guy beating him up, and then John shows up.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was Locke. That was always Locke.
Oh, that was always Locke. Oh.
Yeah, that was always Locke.
Oh, that was a flashback sequence.
Yeah, that was one of the interludes, and then at the end of the book where he's fighting,
he does that
the guy-
again, yeah,
he does it again, but he doesn't actually wait for Locke. He just uses his little misdirection.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing I think I really liked about the book. I don't think that there was like any wasted world building. Everything sort of comes back or is used again. Like nothing just happens.
Yeah,
to happen.
the interludes tie into the story. Like they give you context. It's not just like, hey, and here's some random shit, just sprinkling it in.
Yeah, I do think it can be a little repetitive because it's like, you have the characters in the present day, like say like oh, that's the huggery buggery. You don't want to fuck with that, and then like the characters will say that, and then you'll go back in the past and you'll do an interlude that explains what the huggery buggery is. And it can be a little on the nose and repetitive, but I don't think it pushes past that. I think it does okay.
I wonder if that was an intention of the author. If like the editor was like, hey, can you do this? Just to tip the hand a little bit.
Yeah, I liked it. I think they did better than what was it the more recent Sanderson books where they did the flashbacks and you're just like, oh, this
Oh my
really
God.
doesn't.
Yeah, those flashbacks.
This really doesn't help the story as much as you think it does, kind of stuff. And it's also super long. Like
Yeah.
those flashbacks are just super
Yeah.
long. But these were nice. They're
I do like
brief enough.
I do like how the chapters have their own sub chapters.
Mhm.
Definitely a little bit easier to kind of catch yourself up on different spots there.
I would love this to be a TV show.
Be interesting TV show. Just all heist stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, this would be just a fun TV show. I still feel bad for the three guys that get fucking murked.
Yeah. And I'm guessing that the chick Sabetha, whatever the fuck her name is.
Sabbatha.
Sabetha, yeah.
She's gonna be in the
does
next
she-
one, probably.
I assume that she shows up in one of the other two books.
Yeah.
She shows up in the third book. She has a big part in the
Wow.
third book.
Wow.
I thought
they
like
wait on that
like,
one.
Yeah, they definitely did.
They might have a couple flashback scenes in the second book where they talk about her, introduce her a little bit more, but she doesn't show up in a modern context, as far as I can remember, until the third book.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the book's fine.
I
I
kind of
enjoyed
wanted
it.
to see more things with chains in it.
I'm
but
sure you get more interludes with them, right?
I hope so.
That's
It
where
seems-
you
The
would
next
really
book,
see them.
yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of like a way you would keep a character, just keep them in the interludes.
Yeah, like I mean,
Yeah.
by the time that we get
The
to
next-
the present, he's dead, so he can only be in the interludes.
Yeah, the next two books will do a lot of flashbacks, so there'll be a lot of Caldo and Galdo and
Just
chains.
reminding you that these people died.
Yeah, kinda.
They're here, but not really.
It's funny because I miss them more in the next books, like not being alive, than I did when I originally read the first book. It's just like, oh, those guys would have been cool to still have around, huh? Thanks for showing this off a little bit.
Yeah, but Bug was cool. I feel bad for Bug.
Yeah, he's just like the young guy's apprentice, and
Yeah,
it's good.
and like the worst part is that like Locke is like, please don't stop, Bug, no, don't, and then Bug bites to dust.
Yeah.
I do like that they just sank that whole fucking ship with all that treasure.
Yeah, I like it. It's because it
It's good.
has a really cool callback to the thing that Locke had to do earlier in
Yeah.
the book. It's honestly like a pretty cool little heist/trick he plays on everybody.
It's like, if I can't have this, well then I
No
may
one-
as well
yeah.
use it for something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ties in with the title of the book.
Also, that whole
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna make you guys sift through some shit. Literally,
Great prank.
great.
Yeah.
The old lady starts cackling at the end. She's like, "Motherfucker got me." Son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun book. The names always throw me off because there's just so many names, and of course they're all like thieves and stuff, so they have names,
Names upon
fake names. Yeah, there's so much fake names going around, and you're just like,
Oh, I love that whole thing where
Like-
he's basically like he's broke and he has to get some nice clothes and a little bit of money. He goes
Yeah,
to the bank
yeah.
3 times trying to get that shit done.
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Subliminal three.
this as a TV show would be just a lot of fun. Just a fun TV show that I think would be like I had actually had a hard time like listening to this and like working or doing stuff because not just the names, but then like things just happening. I'm like, can't do both. I just have to.
Just gotta focus.
I can't focus. Like I gotta like either, which makes me wish I actually read a book as opposed to listen to audiobook. Even though the voice actor, I really enjoyed this
Yeah, the
narrator.
voice actor
This
was
narrator
good.
is fantastic.
The only thing is that he was just slow, but that's the thing with all the audio.
Yeah, but that's you. That's
Yeah.
you in general. Yeah, that's more of a you issue than
1.6 speed.
yeah. So I just found myself like missing stuff a lot, and I like read like 3 different summaries to like just reorient myself with the story. Had to read 3 different summaries to
So
like catch up.
what was nice? So I actually used an Audible credit for the audiobook, and then I also had the Kindle version that I had borrowed from the library, and they synchronized. So
Yeah.
like as I was
nice.
yeah. So what I would listen to something because I was like if I was cooking or if I was driving I would listen, and then I'd come back and I'd be like, all right, I'm going to read it, and I'd open up my Kindle and it was just at that page.
Yeah.
And then
The Whisper Sync's really cool.
Yeah, and then on my
Really
phone,
cool.
if I'm doing it on my phone, it can also just read it on the Kindle app as it's doing the audio.
Yeah.
And it's actually just highlighting the words as it's going through.
Extra immersion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm fine with it. I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
Now the question is, would you recommend it? You think it depends on the audience you're speaking to?
I think it's who I'm speaking to. Yeah, 100%.
Makes sense.
Yeah. If someone wanted like I was hoping for more heist stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of where my mind was when I was going into it.
And you get
And then
you start getting
you
that.
get
They
it.
start feeding it to you, and then just it pivots.
And then the gears shift, and I was like, "That's not what I came for."
Son of a bitch! The old bait and switch.
I don't think that there's anything that isn't well, other than like some of the stuff in the middle where they're trying to deal with like the succession stuff. Like everything kind of ends up turning into a heist, though. Like,
By the end, it is, but it isn't. It's like like they sink all the money and stuff. So I'm like, I guess it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. It's just not what I was expecting. How about that?
Because like
That's
yeah,
not what
he
my
went
mind
through
was
the
going into.
whole. He went through the whole setup for that Ermelane stuff and the liquor and getting the barrels and all that stuff. And you're like, all right, man, that's gonna be awesome if he's able to pull all this
Yeah,
off.
I'm
And
like
then
waiting for my mind's like, wow, let's get it all pulled off. Let's
and then
see
it
what
just
stuff's
kind of it just pivots away.
Yeah.
so okay, so here's a real question: do you think you would spend a whole bunch of money extra on booze if you didn't get a hangover?
If I didn't get it, like, so you get all the effects of being drunk, but you're never hungover.
Correct. If you had some of these whatever these special brandies are, Oster,
Yeah.
Shallon brandies.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, the hangovers suck. So yeah,
Yeah.
If I could just spend a little bit more and not have the hangover,
No, but this isn't a little bit more. This is
and
a
it's
lot of it
definitely
more.
yeah, it's
This is
definitely expensive. But
Yeah, but we're talking
brandy.
about rich people, right?
yeah, the
So
peers, yeah,
Yeah.
they got money
Yeah.
to spend.
us poors, it's a little different, but you're a
just
wealthy
saying, would
class,
you-
and it's not such a big
Would
deal.
you buy like that like a $120 bottle of like Glenlivet's or whatever if it didn't give you a hangover instead?
$120 for a bottle isn't a lot when you're thinking of some of the whiskeys and stuff.
Yeah, I mean
So,
that's pretty.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. If that was the case, man, that's like cheap comparatively because that has that extra benefit.
Okay, so how much? Okay, that's the question. How
There's
much
like
would you spend?
$500 bottles of freaking like 500 milliliters of fucking bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's $1 a
Would you
milliliter.
Yeah.
That's
Would you spend that
expensive
kind
as
of
fuck.
money? Would you spend that kind of money to not get any kind of hangover?
If I had the money to spend,
Yeah. If I had fuck you money like these guys,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
100%. Why wouldn't I? You know, why wouldn't I if I had fuck you money? But
Yeah.
um, would I spend $500 on a bottle of good whiskey that didn't give me a hangover once in my life? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
As a repeat
Maybe.
thing, like once a month?
Yeah.
No.
No. But as a treat myself, yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's a bottle you would like take your time drinking too.
Yeah.
So you might even buy it again. You
Yeah.
might even buy it again once it goes
But
empty
that's the
because you
kind of
wouldn't
bottle
drink
that
that every
like you,
night.
you
Yeah.
drink it yourself, or you only allow like people who are really close to you drink from.
Yeah. Well, I cooking up a tomahawk tonight and
Yeah.
have have some
Yeah.
friends over
Or it's
kind of
like,
thing.
oh, you know what? I'm getting married. Here's some groomsmen gifts. Here's a bottle with this really fucking nice.
I would
whiskey.
never gift that to anyone.
But you're an asshole who doesn't believe in gift giving or birthdays or Father's Day or Mother's Day.
Oh my God, they're doing what they're supposed to do. Be a dad.
Someone sounds a bit bitter.
I'm just saying, like, would I gift that to someone? Oh, probably not. But I guess I'm a little bit more selfish than most.
A little bit.
But would I give someone a $90 bottle of whiskey? Yeah, probably. 500, probably for myself. Would I share it? Yeah, I would do that. But you'd have to bring the tomahawk over.
It's a tit for tat situation here.
Yeah.
So do you guys want to read the next one?
I'm not sure. I kind of want to jump back to Red Rising series.
Yeah, I feel similarly. Like, it's not enough for me to want to go jump into the next one.
I'm not saying I'm not going to do the second book in this series. I'm not sure if I want to do it right away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or we can do book 2 of Magic 2.0 and really piss off you and Nate.
Should do Magic 2.0 on our anniversary day of Magic 2.0.
Well, yeah, let's do that. Once a year, we'll do a Magic 2.0 book on the anniversary.
No. It's a hard no for me.
Womp
Yeah, I have no problems going back to it. I just not
right now.
I didn't end it going, oh, I can't wait to read the next book kind of feeling. I was like, oh, that was fun.
Yeah, like I was excited to
Like a
finish
mix-up.
the book.
Yeah,
I was excited to
yeah.
finish the book, but it doesn't have me like going like I need to just immediately grab book 2.
Yeah, but I was like, yeah, it's a fun book. I'll get back to it eventually, kind of thing.
I need to be super angry at the second book.
Oh, that's why.
That's why he's pushing.
I have
A little
these
bit, yeah.
feels. I have these feels, and they must come out.
So like, I think the next book would have been good if it was 2 separate books. But the 2 books combined
Is it
make
like
me
really
so
long?
fucking angry.
How much longer
I
is
don't
that
know.
book? I mean, this book kind of feels like, again, the story pivots halfway. So does he do something similar in that one? Like part of
I
his
don't
writing style?
I think saying that the story pivoting part way is wrong. I think that the story is just kind of building up in the background and then slowly comes to the foreground, whereas this book just hard pivots and it makes me so mad.
Fair enough.
The second book
Seas.
is 3 hours longer than the first book.
Oh, okay, it's not that much
25
longer.
hours.
Yeah, Red Seas Over Red Skies.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy to hop back into it. Like, if we do Red Rising, I'd be cool with like just going back and forth. To be honest,
Okay.
does that make sense?
I hear the new Andy Weir book is pretty good.
Oh, you know what I heard was
Andy
bad?
Weir?
I don't know who Andy Weir is.
He's the guy who wrote The Martian.
I heard Ready Player 2 was garbage.
Oh no, yeah.
I heard it was absolute dog shit.
Yeah, I heard And I enjoyed the first one, but yeah,
I
I heard it was really bad.
I haven't read Ready Player 2, but yeah, I've heard it's just hot
I heard it's
garbage.
really bad. Parts of me
No,
wants
I've
us
only
to
seen that.
read it just to talk about how bad it is.
I really don't want to revisit Ready Player 1 because I wasn't a big fan of how the book ended, and I really was not a fan of the movie.
The movie was fine, but it's not a good representation of the book.
Oh,
'Cause-
the movie was great. It was a good movie.
It was entertaining. Like I enjoyed it. Like would I rewatch it?
Probably not.
Probably not, unless someone was over and wanted to watch it or hasn't seen it, kind of thing. Because there's a lot of cool,
Yeah.
like fun, nostalgic parts of it, right? Like
Mhm.
a lot of callbacks. So it's like just to like feel
I know.
that would be kind of
The
cool.
movie
But
was
I would.
fine. I didn't really enjoy it that much. I was just hoping to trigger Andy, but it didn't really work.
I knew that's what you were trying to do. Because we saw the movie, and you were sitting next to me, and I was having a fit so many times.
You were having a fit. It was funny as shit.
It's just like,
Why were you
why
having a
the
fit?
fuck did they do this shit?
Because it's like if you were an Avatar, the Last Airbender fan, and you watch the
Avatar movie.
Yeah.
the Avatar movie. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I do a pretty good job separating myself from source material when I watch movies. But
yeah, that's
I
insane.
totally understand that.
I'm not saying the movie was bad. It just shouldn't have been called.
It's not the
that.
book. Yeah, it's not the book.
The book at all.
Yeah, I totally recognize that. Like, I was watching, I was like, oh, okay, I need to be in a different mind space to appreciate this movie.
Yeah,
I can't be a book fan.
but honestly, I really hated the way that the first book ended.
I don't barely remember the ending.
Like it
be
basically
honest.
turns into like a love story at the end. I'm like, why would you make this decision?
I mean, how did you not see it turning into a love story?
I was hoping
Earlier on.
I was hoping that they wouldn't like delve
think
that
any
was-
further, and then they did.
I was like,
and
that's
God
totally the
damn
direction
it.
they're going.
I don't know.
Like-
The criticisms of the first book that I've seen is that like the girl just kind of gets treated like a prize. Like he wins the Omegaverse.
Wait, did our episode on the Lies of Locke Lamora just turn into a discussion on Ready Player One?
A little bit.
Well, we're just figuring out what next book we want to read. We always
Yeah.
get detracted whenever
It's
we
true,
start
it's
discussing
true.
books.
But you were
Um,
saying,
Like the criticisms that I've heard for it is just that it treats the female character as a prize. Like he wins I don't know, whatever it's called, the Neververse or whatever. I don't remember its name. This
Yeah,
property
I mean, this
is
was
in
a
the
long time ago.
Oasis.
Yeah.
The Oasis.
Oasis,
Yeah.
that's it.
He wins the Oasis, and it's like, by the way, we'll throw in the girl too, because she's here. So that's so
I
you
barely
two are
remember.
together. Yeah, I think that's the problem is that it's just like, oh, by the way, you two are together now, and it's like, oh, okay, and then the book kind of just ends. Is like the big criticism that I've seen for it is that the girl is treated like a prize.
This was a long time ago.
My
I barely.
biggest criticism was that Will Wheaton is the narrator for the audiobook.
The audiobook
I
was
mean,
fine. I thought he did a good job with the.
It's just
The
that
narration.
like sometimes you can only deal with
What's
so
wrong with
much
you?
Will Wheaton at a time.
Fuck's
Fine with
wrong
me.
with you? Shut up, Wesley. Seriously.
I thought he was fine. It didn't bother me. It was also not like memorable either, but
Oh, another big complaint I had is that Rush played a big part in the book. Rush was not in the fucking movie at all.
oh yeah, I remember being upset about that. Not upset, but like
I was
missed
there was
opportunity.
there was a
Yeah.
whole freaking sequence about Rush and the
Yeah.
2112 album, and then it's just not in the movie at all.
Yeah, I remember that.
That made me really
If
not
anyone-
happy.
Want to read Red Rising, but everybody else kind of wants to, so fuck it. I hear it gets better, but I just think that like the way
Yeah.
the plot just kind of revolves around rape in the first book is kind of gross.
I think you're like you have like this fixation on the rape stuff. It like blows my mind because it's like
Yeah.
to me
It's-
it's not a big
it's
deal
so
at all.
It's so bad.
You're so fixated on it, and I'm like, I barely remember
Because
them.
it's so bad. The whole plot revolves around the rape. That's the thing that is insane to me.
I mean, I don't feel that way,
really.
but yeah,
It's,
don't know-
it's any It's anytime the
Like,
story is naturally heading to a stalemate, a character just decides to rape somebody, and that forces everybody to take action.
okay, it's not a big deal to me.
So boring and gross. It's
Well,
I don't
rape
know.
is gross. I get it.
I feel like
Like,
I
no,
feel
I
like
don't
I've
think
been
anybody's praising rape here.
Yeah, like we get it. It's gross. That's the
well. You guys are like, yeah, more rape. Let's go next book.
no. I mean, no one's praising it. It's like, yeah, that guy's bad. He did
I don't
rape.
know.
Okay, all right, we're moving on. It's not like
I think
something
it's
that
just.
like negatively
I just
impacts me
think
that
it's.
much. I'm like, all right,
I don't know.
rape
I just
happens.
find it as a
Bad people do
very
stuff like that. Cool.
but the problem is that it's like it's used to force the plot to move forward. It isn't like a background thing that happens. It's like this is the narrative. Like it's I don't know. I watch a
I
lot of
mean, considering they didn't really like go into detail on the rape, it definitely seems like it was in the background.
Like it just doesn't
They were just
bother
like,
me.
yeah, this guy's
Yeah.
raping these people. Okay, we should do something about it. It's not like a whole chapter dedicated to graphic depiction of this person being raped.
I just think it's a very
Unlike
very
that sex
lazy
scene
narrative device.
in Snow Crash.
I just think it's a super lazy narrative device because it's just like I don't know. It's like crap. Everybody's just kind of stuck in a standstill. What do we do? I don't know. Just have somebody shoot a baby, and that'll force people to do something. Like it's just the story doesn't seem to unfold naturally. It's one of those things where the author says, "I need to make something happen here," because the point I've gotten to, there is no natural way to break the stalemate.
I guess. I mean, like I said, it doesn't. I didn't find it a problem. I'm also not. I don't dig deep about stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
like that stuff doesn't. It's not on the forefront of my mind, right? I'm not hyper critiquing things in general in life, so
I guess.
you know.
All right, so book 2 of Red Rising. What's it called? Is it Golden Sun?
Something like that
Something like that. Yeah.
has the word golden in it. Written by a guy who looks like a douche.
Such a hater. This guy.
Right?
I am a hater.
Yeah, Golden Sun.
I don't think I've ever looked up a picture of this guy, but like, I mean, he can't be any worse than that Patrick Rothfuss guy.
Yeah.
Patrick
Cool.
Rothfuss doesn't look like a douche. He just looks like
He looks like a douche.
A homeless douche.
no. He just looks like a really annoying homeless dad. Like he's like, hey, can I be part of the party? And he just tries to go around to different parties trying to be part of stuff, and it's unpleasant. But
He actually kind of looks like, you know, that diagram of like the apes evolving into man. He looks like somewhere like kind of off center towards the right. He looks a little Cro-Magnon. That's all I'm gonna say.
no, I think that's a really dumb thing to say.
No, he definitely looks Cro-Magnon.
I think he
Looks
just looks
like
like he wants to be like a Tom Bombadil.
I don't know who that is.
I think that's a character from Lord of the Rings.
It is, yeah.
I think that's also the chapter. I think there's a chapter dedicated to that character, and like everyone just basically says skip the chapter.
It's super weird. But yeah.
They're just like skip it. Just completely just bypass that chapter. It lends nothing to the story. It's completely pointless.
Is that in the Rings books or is that the Hobbit book? That's the Rings book, right?
Rings.
Lord of the Rings books,
Okay.
yeah. Because Frodo, I think, talks to him, and there's like apparently like a big debate about it, about who Tom Bombadil is, because he says he's older.
Chris
What
needs a
broke you
moment.
here?
Chris needs a moment.
When you went, apparently there's a big debate about it, and I'm like, fucking nerds.
I mean,
Okay,
these are Lord of
so-
the Rings fans. What do you expect?
Yeah. So okay, apparently the guy is like one of the oldest things in all of Middle Earth. Like he's apparently like he says he's like older than like the Valar and stuff. Um, and so Frodo like I think asked Tom Bombadil like like who are you? Um, and he's like I am who I am, man. And so some people think that Tolkien meant that to say that Tom Bombadil was actually God, just like living in a hut in the middle of the woods because it's like I am. Um, but then like there's a lot of there are Tolkien scholars like no joke 100%. And
I mean, it
like
doesn't surprise me. Nerds are nerds, man. They just do the thing, and they're fans.
no, yeah, but I mean like they work for like actual colleges and
Yeah, like
stuff.
they have
It's a
like
little weird.
doctoral degrees on Tolkien.
I mean, that doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me either.
Okay, but yeah, people were like, no, he's probably not God. But people like asked Tolkien, and he's like, who's Tom Bombadil? And he's like, I haven't figured that out yet, really, or I don't know. uh, and so it's just like this weird mystery character who's like older than the universe that nobody really has any idea what it's about.
I can imagine
it's just
Tolkien's
like
like, I'm gonna write this character because I gotta write this book because I made a bet
Well-
with the guy who wrote The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe as to who can make a better Jesus allegory.
Yeah, and I hope I die so I never get to explain this.
But it's just like one chapter in the middle of the Lord of the Rings, and it's like never
It's
brought
a
up
long
again.
chapter too. It's not
Yeah.
even a short one. It's a long one. So I was talking to my buddy Jeff, and I was like, I think I want to finally read Lord of the Rings because I haven't watched all the movies in their entirety. He's like, okay, yeah, just skip this one chapter. It's completely pointless. There's no reason for it.
I have been wanting to get that back on my reading schedule sometime, is to go through the rings again. But that's I don't know if it's a dive. I'm not sure if I'm ready to take yet.
It's basically a drier freaking Stormlight Archive, from my understanding, because it's got the same really wordy prose, but it's also Tolkien. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
One day.
drier.
One day.
Tolkien just writes poetry in the middle of chapters. I don't know.
He's like, oh, this came to my mind. I'm gonna put it in the book. I don't give a shit. Here you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend 20 minutes talking about the lineage of this one tree. Does this affect anything in the future? No.
Nah, is this even an ent that's gonna talk? Nope, just actually a tree.
Yeah.
Trees are cool, man.
Trees are cool. Don't let the audience think that I'm not pro tree. I just don't know if I needed to know as much about this tree as Tolkien wanted me to know, apparently.
This fake tree that's never actually existed.
So funny.
All right, so Golden Sun, 2 weeks. Somebody inform Nate. And then also berate him for not showing up.
Yeah.
I thought starting the recording later would make it easier for Nate to show up because that way he would.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah.
Now, mind you, the next time we record is 4th of July. Not that any of us have like real social lives, but in case.
I'll be working.
This doesn't count as being a real social life?
I mean, this is about as far as it gets.
It's pretty social.
Yeah. About as far as our social life gets. I mean, I rarely ever leave the house, let's be honest.
This is just what we do because pandemic.
Yeah. Cool. Yep, that's it. We're going to do Golden Sun. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
Oh.
Burger's not a fan.
Bye. Bye.